Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My name is Dilip. We live in Bexleyheath. We've joined this group for Janmashtami, which is probably, actually July we did a 6-week course. From the 6-week course we were listening to both London Soho Mandir early in the morning, doing the Hare Krishna mantra, Arti, Mangal Arti, and sleeping for it. Mostly because it was so early in the morning, but I personally started to get visions. So what I was hearing was coming through in my dreams, and so at one stage we decided that we're going to actually try doing the mantra jap. We had one mala, and so one by one we would try one round, thinking it would take ages to do any more. But problem with this is, as you start, you just have this weird feeling of carrying on. And then we took part in the mantra jap marathon, and that was 1 hour, and I believe me and my daughter Neha, we did about an hour worth of singing of the mantra jap, which is how I used to do the mantra jap. After this we did a Ekadashi mantra jap, I believe, which now lasted for about 2 hours. I think I did about 8 rounds, and within that 8 rounds I forgot time literally, so I was amazed that 2 hours had gone, but I still was very reluctant to even think or contemplate about doing 16 rounds because it took 2 hours. Then we did it as part of the Purushottam Mena. We both did a Sankampana, which was to try and do as many rounds as possible, and the week before we managed to do 16. Well, I managed to do 16, and as part of that I tried again and again to carry on. I believe I wasn't doing 16 because we had no way of counting. I keep losing count even now. So now we've got a mantra bag, a japa bag. We do proper tulsi mala with the beads, so we've gone out and got all the little bits and pieces. As you can see, the tilak. We do arti in the morning, do diya, and I'm starting to get visions after about 8 rounds in the mantra jap. So I have been this week definitely doing 16 rounds, and it has been amazing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. My name is Veena, and like Dilip Prabhu, we live in Bexley, in the southeast of London. We have been associated with this group of devotees since July, I'd say the end of July, where we did a 6-week course into the journey of Bhagavad Gita, and since then it's springboarded us into a lot more activities, and we've been involved with a lot more things online, as well as trying to encourage our own family and children to join in. So I'd like to share a few experiences of mine, and I hope you'd think that they're honest and coming from the heart. So being a new devotee, someone who doesn't know how to do anything, and hoping finding the correct manner and the correct path of doing these things, and the kind of realization that I've had. So I'd like to share that with you. So I think really it started for me just before Janmashtami, where again we'd be listening to the Mangala Arti from Soho Temple, and also we were introduced to the Japa meditation. So initially we'd turn it on because it's very early hours in the morning, and I'm not used to getting up that early, so it was just a process of hearing. At least, that's one good thing that I thought. But then it soon developed into that I developed this love for actually saying and chanting the mantras. And it was very easy for me to do because at that early time I would get up, come into the living room, and it was just a case of walking along with chanting the name of Sri Krishna. So I'd say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And I would quite easily walk from each side of the living room, and I would do this for about an hour. I think I did this for a good few weeks, but obviously without knowing or realizing how many rounds I've done, what sort of, there was no way of counting. So I would have the YouTube video on of Srila Prabhupada in the background, and I started with, it was easy to do an hour, but I think over the weekends it could be slightly more. And as well as hearing Srila Prabhupada's voice and mine resonating with the music and having the right environment, I could see, even visualize the picture of Sri Krishna, like the Damodar when he was a little boy, and even we've got another picture where he's bending over to the pot of makhan. So that was a very prominent time, I'd say, and that happened just before Janmashtami. So we carried on, and we still carry on. Every morning we're doing japa. We've got the beads. We've got a bead bag now as well. We've got a bead counter. Still trying to get used to how to use a bead bag properly, but it's all coming slowly, and it's all linking together. So I'm feeling very charged up in the mornings, and like I said, the chanting is amazing because the energy it brings with it. I think initially when I started it was one mala, and I'm thinking, how am I going to do this? When's it going to finish? And it's quite normal to have those sorts of ideas or, thoughts about, okay, I've never done this before. Am I doing it right? But now we've learned the Sri Chaitanya mantra we say at the beginning. So any offences, please pardon us. And you're doing the mala with sincerity and commitment, with complete dedication. So I believe that we're on the road to our spiritual progress, and I've seen the magic within just the name, and I think it's really powerful. So have a go, and we encourage you, especially now it's Purushottam Mahina, to take full advantage of chanting the holy name, and bring Krishna to your lives as well, and see the magic. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.